Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Gonzalez Clark again. We are continuing that problem about the different rectangles and the wire that is used to create these rectangles. Now, in the last video, we took the information that was presented in the first part of the problem and we use this information to help us to figure out the dimensions of rectangle A, rectangle B, and rectangle C. And we were able to do all of that just based off of this piece of information that they provided for us about rectangle A. This is one of the key components that we needed in order to even figure out the dimensions of rectangle B and C. So now we're on to the next part of the problem. What is the total area of all three rectangles? So I'm just going to switch screens really quick. And I want to pull up those three rectangles that we found the dimensions to in the previous video. So just to recap, we have rectangle A with a length of 2 centimeters, a width of 3 1/5 centimeters. I keep calling these triangles. Rectangle A, rectangle B with a length of 2 3/5 centimeters and a width of 3 4/5 centimeters, and rectangle C with a length of 3 1/5 centimeter and a width of 4 2/5 centimeters. So what we're going to do now is we are going to find the area of each of these rectangles. So I'm going to start with rectangle A. We have 2. Okay. We have 2 times 3 1/5. Okay, so we're going to multiply this, and we're going to change our mixed number into still a fraction greater than 1, but also known as an improper fraction, which is a fraction that is greater than 1. So we have 5 times 3, which is 15, and we just add the 1 to it, and we get 16 fifths. And when we multiply across, we get 32 fifths, which gives us a final answer of 6 2/5 centimeters square. So that is the area for rectangle A, 6 2/5 centimeters squared. Okay, so the area for that one is equal to that. Now we need to do our area for rectangle B. So we have 2 3/5 times 3 4/5. So we're going to change these, and we get 13 fifths times 19 fifths. And when we multiply across, we get 247 over 25, which, when we divide it, it gives us 9 22/25 centimeters squared. So that is the the area of rectangle B. Now we need to do rectangle C. So again, we are going to take the length and the width, and we are going to multiply them. So we have 3 1/5, and we're going to multiply that by 4 2/5. So my 3 1/5 becomes 16 fifths. and my 4 2/5 becomes 22/5. And when we multiply it out, we get 352 over 25, which gives us a final area of 14 and 2/25 centimeters squared. So we have the areas of each of these 3 rectangles. Okay, so we have our area for each of the 3 rectangles. Again, rectangle A is 6 and 2/5 centimeters squared. Rectangle B is 9 and 22/25 centimeters squared. And C is 14 and 2/25 centimeters squared. Now the question was asking for the second part is what is the total area of all 3 of these rectangles? So now what we need to do is we need to add all of these areas together so that we can get the total area amongst all 3 rectangles. So I am going to add first the 2 fractions that have the same denominators because it's always easy to add that, right? So we have 9 22/25 plus, oops, okay, plus 14 and 2/25. So we have similar denominators. So all we have to do is add our numerators. So 22 plus 2 gives us 24/25 because our denominator remains the same. And then we're going to add our whole numbers. So the 14 plus the 9 gives us 23. So when we add those 2 fractions together, we get 23 and 24/25. But we're not done because we still have to add the area of rectangle A. So now let's take the 23 and 24/25 and let's add to it the 6 and 2/5. Now this addition isn't as easy because what are we noticing? We're noticing that the denominators are different. So we're going to have to find a common denominator, and that common denominator will be 25. So 5 times 5 gives us 25, and 2 times 5 gives us 10. 25 times 1 gives us 25, which means 24 times 1 gives us 24. So great. Now we have our common denominators, and now we can add our numerators. So 24 plus 10 gives us 34. 25ths. But we have our numerator larger than our denominator. So we are going to divide this out. And when we divide it, it leaves us with 1 and 9/25. But we're not done because we still have to add our whole numbers. So we have the 23 plus the 6, which gives us 29. And then when we add this one extra one, we get 30. So our final answer becomes 39. Let me just slide this over here. So our final answer becomes 30 and 9/25 centimeters squared. So this here is the final area when we add all of those three areas together. The area for rectangle A, the area for rectangle B, and the area for rectangle C. So in total, all three areas are equal to 30 and 9/25 centimeters squared. So what we did was we took the information from part A, where we had to find the dimension of each rectangle. Then we took those dimensions for each rectangle and we found the area, which is what we did here. And after we found the area of each of those rectangles, we took those areas and we added them all together in order to get the final area answer of 39/25 centimeters squared.